From the hills of Martinez, it's a historic NCS quarterfinal game as the Petaluma Trojans battle the Alhambra Bulldogs with a spot in the NCS semifinals on the line. Next. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Griffin Epstein, joining you from Alhambra High School in beautiful Martinez, Northern California, for the NCS Varsity Softball Quarterfinals game as your Petaluma Trojans take on the third-seeded Alhambra Bulldogs in this 3-6 matchup. The winner going to the semifinals, and the loser's season will come to a close. For the Petaluma Trojans, it has been since 2013 since they advanced to the NCS semifinals. They're hoping with some experienced talent and a young core that the Trojans can make history and keep their dream run alive in NCS, while the Bulldogs, who've won 3 NCS titles this decade, hoping to keep their hopes going forward on this Monday afternoon. It's the Bulldogs, Trojans, NCS softball. Next. As you see, the Petaluma Trojans gathering as one as they do before every game. They value their tradition so much and credit it to so much part of the success. Every game, gather in the circle, clap and cheer before they get ready on the road to bat. Alhambra has their traditions as well, 3-time NCS champions this decade. These two are both powerhouses, and it is going to lead to a fantastic ball game on a beautiful Monday afternoon. The winner headed to the NCS semifinals. Alhambra Bulldogs, coached by Adam McLean, 18-7 overall, 8-4 in the Diablo Foothill League. They finished tied for second, only behind second-seeded Benicia in the NCS Division II bracket. Petaluma, 17-7 on the year. They were 8-4 as well in their league, the Vine Valley Athletic League, and they finished in a 3-way tie for second with American Canyon and Vintage. However, Petaluma and Sonoma Valley, the only 2 VVAL softball teams that are still playing in NCS. The Trojans have success as NCS champs as well. They've only done it once this decade, but they are 5-time NCS champs, including 4 times this century, and the Trojans have an excellent core of experience, but some young talent that has led the Trojans to this ball game. Alhambra got here with an easy victory last Tuesday. These teams were originally scheduled to play Friday before rain and scheduling moved this back to Monday. They beat Montgomery 13-3 in a Mercy Rule 6-inning game, while the Trojans had no trouble with Redwood defeating the Giants 9-1. We're ready to go here. It's a packed crowd. It should be tension-filled and a tight one throughout. Alhambra and Petaluma. Laura King, the senior pitcher, strides in for the Bulldogs, and we are ready to go. Rachel Bless takes a first pitch strike for Petaluma. Bless did not have a good afternoon last Tuesday against Redwood. In just the second NCS game of her career, she really struggled. Bless takes high, it's 1-1. Petaluma does not have any experience on their team of ever playing an NCS quarterfinal game. Tuesday was the Trojans' first NCS victory since Tuesday, or first victory in 4 years as Bless flies out to short, and 1 down. Trojans have struggled in NCS of late. They had 3 straight losses in the first round, but were able to break that. First victory since 2015, but it was since the 2013 team that only lost 2 times all season that made it to the semis. Petaluma has seen the Final 4. First pitch strike in there to Emma Wyand. Talented Trojans, middle of the order, going up against a very experienced and talented senior pitcher. And that's a nasty strike, catching the outside corner. Quickly 0-2. Shadows are going to play a factor throughout this game. As you can see, the batter bathed in shadows while the field is out in sun. That makes it challenging for the batter, and Wyand looked like she never saw that one well. She's down on 3 strikes. So quickly 2 down, no one on here in the top of the first. And now Emma Wyan strides to the plate for Petaluma. King's had a fantastic year. She's a workhorse and the ace for the Bulldogs, 13-5 with a 2.97 ERA as the first pitch misses outside. King has pitched 99 innings and 24 appearances as this one is driven into left field, a base hit. And the Trojans have their first base run of the day as Emma Wyan reaches. Just an oppo field base hit by Wyan, didn't get a lot on it, but all you got to do is get your bat on the ball. India Smith, the Trojans' best hitter, strides at the plate with 2 outs. Opposing batters hitting .316 against King this year. Smith takes a first pitch strike. The Trojan senior hoping to not play her final game this afternoon in a purple and white uniform. 4 years as a Trojan varsity player, headed to St. Mary's of Moraga, which is only about 20 minutes from her next year to play college. Smith chases the high heat. It's 0-2. See, King can throw rise balls up in the zone with some power, and the Trojans chasing that early. Hat misses high, and it's 1-2. King's an excellent strikeout pitcher. You've already seen her with 1 strikeout. 87 strikeouts over the course of the year. That's just below a strikeout per inning. Off speed, misses Wyan down to second easily. In there for a stolen base. Wyan with good speed should now be able to score on a base hit by Smith. As it's 2-2, 2 outs, top of the first here in the NCS quarterfinals. Just misses outside. The Alhambra fans are ready to cheer. Instead, it's a full count. King just has 45 walks on the year. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss by Smith. She strikes out, and the side is retired. Trojans get 1 hit, strand 1 on no runs, and we move to the bottom of the first. It's Petaluma nothing, Alhambra nothing. Rachel Bless takes the center circle for Petaluma in this NCS quarterfinal appearance. As Kurt Janstrow decides to go with the sophomore pitcher for the Trojans. The ace, Mandy O'Keefe's been pitching well of late, but Janstrow deciding to go with Bless, who's had a fantastic season and has been more consistent actually over the course of the year than O'Keefe. 7-5 on the year is Bless, a 3.06 ERA. This is her 11th game started. 92 innings pitched for Bless. First pitch in there for a strike to Brianna Waters, the senior batting .468, one of 5 seniors on the Bulldogs. That skips way low. It is a little hard to see with the shadows, both on the camera and for the batters. By the end of this game, the field, at least the infield, will be bathed in shadows, not an issue. So Waters takes a strike, 1-2. These teams are really mirror images of each other in a lot of ways. Consistent across the board. They have good pitching and good hitting, but neither is great. It's something else that makes these teams special. Potential NCS champions as that one is lined up the middle for a base hit. Waters gets things going for the Bulldogs. And with nobody out, 1 on, here's Kira Nelson, the sophomore, batting .390. The Bulldogs very vocal, singing and clapping in their dugout as this one is popped up and out of play. Trojans, fielding-wise, one of the best fielding teams in the whole Bay Area. They have only made 14 errors all year. They're nearly impeccable. The Bulldogs, it's all about stealing bases. They are very speedy on the bases. They're very smart on the bases. Big swing and a miss. And that's why both of these teams have the potential, no doubt, to do something special and make a run to an NCS championship. Similarly, both teams have a lot of youth, sophomore core on both sides, in fact. Sophomores are juniors, but they all mostly returned from last year, even though there's not that many seniors. 10 underclassmen on the Bulldogs, but they have 13 returners. as Nelson fouls it off, and it stays 2-2. The Trojans, just 2 seniors, but they only lost 5 players from last year. 8 of their 14 players on their team are returners. They have 5 underclassmen led by Bless. This one is hit into left, and the catch is made. Pate drifts over and makes the routine play, quickly 1 down.
Now batting for the Lady Bulldogs, number 23,
Ari Bethel steps in for the Bulldogs with 1 out, 1 on. The senior catcher only batting 143 on the year with just 2 hits. But the big catcher in a big spot here in the 3rd hole for the Bulldogs. This one is hit softly to Bless, who throws to second for the out. They throw back to first and nearly got it. What an exceptional play by Bless. Just assumed that the sophomore pitcher would throw to first, but she wheeled and turned to second to get the out, get the leadoff runner. Excellent play by Bless, showcasing the Trojans' fantastic fielding. And just 16 errors on the season for Petaluma. So we're going to see a pinch runner here with 2 out and 1 on. Shannon Smith, the freshman, will try to steal an extra base for the Bulldogs. 79 stolen bases on the season for Alhambra. 79. This pitch bounces low. Smith thought about it, but she stays. Isabella Emmerling is the batter for the Bulldogs. She fouls that one hard off. Look out. As this big hill, which we'll show you later, encompassing this field. Very unique setting, really beautiful. Especially on a beautiful sunny day like this, a fun game for softball. That misses inside, 2-1. Emmerling, the sophomore, one of the best hitters on the Bulldogs, batting .471 with 32 hits. She misses outside. Emmerling's walked 10 times on the year, and she reaches base 53% of the time. The heart of the orders for both these teams, very dangerous. And Emmerling ready to walk down to first, and Bless found the outside of the strike zone. A full count and a big pitch upcoming for the sophomore. Just gets a piece of that right to Bless, tossed to first, side retired. A leadoff single, but not more damage for Bless as she retires 3 straight from there. On to the top of the 2nd we go, no score. You can see this beautiful scene here at Alhambra High School. Many fans setting up their lawn chairs, sitting up on the hill that encompasses this stadium. And it's a very big crowd for this big game. 2 teams coming in hot. The Bulldogs have won 7 in a row as Pate lines this one foul. And the Trojans have won 6 out of their last 8, in big part to Kylie Pate, who strides to the plate. She has been on fire of late, the senior nearing the end of her career. As she swings at this one and drives it into left, the catch is made. 1 down, no doubt though, she's hitting the ball well and likely is going to reach base at some point today. Had a double and a triple against Redwood in the Trojans NCS victory last Tuesday. Mandy O'Keefe strides to the plate with 1 out and nobody on. Trojan, better known for her star pitching, including a fantastic performance last Tuesday. 7 innings, just 1 run allowed against the Giants. And Petaluma is O'Keefe shows bunt and pulls it back. Quickly 2-0, Trojans ahead in the count, something they didn't get a lot of in that first inning. That catches the outside corner of the zone, 2-1. O'Keefe bats .342. She has 23 hits this year on 11 runs. Hard ground ball. What a play at second behind the pole, and the play is made. Well, the pole blocked your view, but a spectacular diving play at second by number 9, Hope Ferreira, the sophomore. She is giving the Bulldogs hope to move on to the semifinals. 2 down. Cami Ayers takes a first pitch strike. Nice off speed by King. We see a pitcher's duel here today. This one is driven down the line and foul. Ayers, the consistent first baseman for the Trojans, really a stalwart there. Has started at first base every game for Petaluma. Hitting .276 on the year with 16 hits. A bubbly personality, but she's so focused on the diamond. One of the most vital players on this team for Petaluma, the calm focus she has. Most players miss the game for whatever reason, and she's just always out there. Indispensable, really. The 1-2 from King. This one is popped high into the air. That pole is blocking your view a lot today, but the catch is made by Ferraro, and the Trojans go 1-2-3, and we go to the bottom of the second, no score. Start things off for Petaluma, or for Alhambra, I should say. Bottom half of the second. Bless pitched a strong first with just one hit allowed. The first pitch in there to a strike for King. And she's not pitching, she hits pretty well, 422 on the year. That misses outside. Senior captain, she is the heartbeat and soul of the Bulldogs and their team leader. 27 hits, 31 RBIs. She has a big bat too. Not here, soft ground ball to short. 1 down. King, 3 home runs, 6 doubles. But Bless so far looks in an excellent rhythm, and 18-year manager Kurt Jastrow, I should say, who's certainly been around the block more than once and has 5 NCS titles to his name, knows what he's doing. This is another soft ground ball. It's off the glove of Bless. She's going to have to hurry. Just in time. Tricky play for Bless. There has not been a lot of good contact made by the Bulldogs in this game, but it's testing this infield for the Trojans. That is so smooth. Bless made a fantastic throw back to second. She never panicked there. 2 down. And the first pitch in there for a strike to Alina Quintero, the junior third baseman. 14 hits, batting .341 on the year. This is low, 1-1. Bless has been moving the ball well, but she can really mix up her speeds, and that can get batters really off balance. When she's in rhythm and doing that, she is so hard to hit. And right now, she looks like she's in that zone. Good news for Petaluma, who's played in a lot of pitchers' duels this year, so it's against some of their best opponents. Bless has 6 complete games this year and 7 victories. Not a strikeout pitcher. Only 32 strikeouts. She just finds ways to get outs. 2-2. Bless was fantastic last year, too. 3.26 ERA, but even against better competition, she's lowered that. She just works so hard. That misses low, full count. You know, Bless is so talented. Makes it all the more impressive how hard she works for the Trojans, and I just constantly, I'm out playing tennis and see her out working on the softball diamond. That is off the glove of Pomi. It rolls all the way to the third base wall, and a very rare error by Petaluma is going to give it the Bulldogs a runner in scoring position. Quintero reaches. Pomi spent a little bit less time at third than everyone else. Trojans have cycled players at third base, not really settled on one person. That misses low. Gives the Bulldogs an opportunity to squeak across a run. The way this is looking, every run is going to be so important to see who advances to the semifinals. Might be a 3-6 matchup. These teams are even. That one is fouled off, out of play. Going out to the victim of a tree. Off speed, nasty by Blesson there for a strike. Brianna Swihart, one of the youngest players on the diamond today, a freshman batting .280 with 14 hits and 12 batted in. She's got a runner on second she's trying to bring home. The rise ball misses a little high, 2-2. 2-2, 2 out, runner out second. Bless trying to get out of the second without any damage done. Just missed low, worked it to a full count. It's been a pretty tight strike zone. Bless has had to be pinpoint perfect in this ball game. And just fouled off on the check swing. It hit the hand of Lawson as well as the bat. The first inning was retired on a full count. Let's trying to do the same thing while the Bulldogs chanting base hit ball 4. Just fouled off again. Excellent piece of hitting by Swihart. Don't believe any relation to former Red Sox catcher Blake Swihart. She's sure hitting like a big leaguer. She fouls that one off her foot. The more fouls you get in at bat, fouling 1, 2, now 3 pitches off, the more tired and frustrated a pitcher will get, and the more you're going to see pitches to hit. Both baseball and softball these days, you are taught. Foul balls off. That misses high. What an impressive at bat by Brianna Swihart to work the walk. And the Bulldogs have runners at first and second with 2 down. Rihanna Meckling, the junior, with 8 batted in, 11 hits and 10 runs, batting .379 in a big spot. She swings hard at this first pitch up the middle. Here comes the throw to the plate, not in time, and the Bulldogs are on the board first. A run will go to third. The throw is never made, and Meckling is at second. An RBI single for Meckling, and credit to Brianna Swihart. What a walk she worked to get Brianna Meckling to have the Bulldogs strike first blood. And Bless still not out of things. And in the bottom of the second. Runners at second and third. Trojans just need 1 out though. All this was started with 2 down. A costly error by Pomey. A walk. And then a blast up the middle. A 1-0. Chop swing to Pomey. And she makes the throw. The side is retired, but a big hit by Rihanna Meckling up the middle gets the Bulldogs on the board, and we head to the third inning. It's Alhambra 1, Petaluma nothing. Alhambra pitching has been solid this year, led by their ace and King. 3.23 ERA for Alhambra pitches this year. King has pitched 2/3 of all of those innings. The Trojans are going to have to be patient and find an inning to get a couple runs as Logan Pomey takes the first pitch in there for a strike. Trojans against bad pitching have beaten up teams all year long. Against good pitching, the Trojans have found some ways to win with a couple innings where they can squeak across a couple runs and also just keeping the pressure on. You don't want easy innings where you go 1, 2, 3 like the last inning. You gotta fight. This is a fight up the middle, and it will roll past both fielders as Pomey hustles into second safely with a double. An RBI double for the sophomore, and the Trojans are threatening at the top of the third. Just the 3rd double of the season for Pomey. And just the 5th Esther base hit. But she comes up big, the number 8 hitter. And here's Mallory O'Keefe before Petaluma goes back to the top of the order. One of only 2 freshmen on the Petaluma roster. She looks to lay down a bunt. The ball gets behind the catcher, and Pomey sprints down to third. Just an awkward looking play there. O'Keefe laid down the bunt, pulled back. It was a very hard pitch, and there was no chance for the Bulldog catcher. So 1-0, and a runner at third for Petaluma. O'Keefe takes a strike. Mallory O'Keefe batting .250 on the year with 11 hits. Had a nice hit on last Tuesday against Redwood. She's not afraid of the big moment. Playing in the spotlight for Petaluma. A softly hit ball to short. They look back, Pomey at third, and 1 down. Bless comes to the plate, top of the order for Petaluma. They still have 2 outs to work with. Bless would love at least to have a sacrifice fly into right field to bring Pomey home, who's not in particularly fast, so the ball will need to be hit hard enough, and there are dangerous arms in the outfield for Alhambra. Bless takes a strike. 1-0. What a season again it's been for the bat for Rachel Bless. Batting .405 on the year, and she's reached base 45% of the time. She comes to the plate. It's popped up. The question, will it be deep enough? The catch is made, and Pomey doesn't go. It was going to be a tough decision. Pomey started, hesitated, and said, no, it looked like the third base coach for Petaluma Center decided not to, and it might have been the right decision there. The ball was hit up high enough that it was going to be very challenging for Pomey to score if the throw was on. Suicide squeeze tried by Kaylee Wyan, but it's foul. Wyan grounded out in the first. 25 hits on the year, and she's batted in 13. Batting just a tick below 400. She was on a tear halfway through the season. Cooled down since. Needs a base hit here for Petaluma. This ball is going to go out of play.
Let's go, 10.
0-2. King let the lead-off double. My goodness. King let the lead-off double by Pomey. Trying to get out of the jam without any harm damage and keep the Bulldogs up as they try to move on to the NCS semis. That misses high, the ball gets away from the catcher, and Pomey will come home to score. What a horrible mistake by Alhambra, and the Trojans have tied up this ball game. 1-1. For all the fantastic fielding by the Bulldogs to keep Pomey at third. A rise ball rose too far, unable to be handled. One struck out, but the Trojans don't care too much. Pomey's leadoff double, and she comes around to score on 2 pass balls to tie this game at 1 as we head to the bottom of the third. Kira Nielsen will start things off for Alhambra in the bottom of the third. Their Petaluma answers the Alhambra run in the second. To knot things at 1 apiece. First pitch swinging. O'Keefe is there. Quickly 1 retired. Oh, Bulldogs have looked off balance, as we've said, much of today, and a lot of very softly hit balls to this reliable Trojan infield. Quickly 1 down. The number 9 hitter for the Bulldogs, Christine De La Cruz Carranza. What a mouthful. She takes low. In there for a strike. 1-1. Now the Trojan infield for Petaluma we've been talking about. Airs at first, Mallory O'Keefe at second, Mandy O'Keefe at short, and Logan Pomey at third. Ground ball to Pomey, just foul. Kylie Pate in left, India Smith in right, and Kaylee Wyand in center. It's Emma Wyand, the Trojan catcher behind the plate, receiving the pitches from Rachel Bless. Just one hit so far allowed today by Bless in their first NCS game she's pitched in. That misses low, 2-2 to De La Cruz Carranza. A sophomore in the 9-hole, but she's no slouch, batting .391 with 27 hits and 27 runs. It just stays alive. Sometimes the managers like to put a good hitter in the 9-hole because you can kind of bridge the bottom of your lineup with the top of your lineup, and it only becomes more scary. Obviously, the 9-hitter gets at least one less at bat, but it can really piece up the holes in your batting lineup. Off speed is lined down the line and foul. Just to the left of the third base line. Bulldog fans thought they had an extra base set. Instead, De La Cruz Carranza heads back to the box. The Bulldogs batting .390 as a team and reaching base 45% of the time they come to the plate. But they haven't seen too many pitchers like Buss this year. That one misses high. The full count with one out. Buss hasn't walked a runner yet. Control so excellent. Right now, she has walked De La Cruz Carranza, and that's her second walk. Saw Swihart work a walk. Top of the order in Emmerling for the Bulldogs. Bless on the season, it's 26 walks. The Bulldogs have been patient. This is a hard bouncer. Toss to second, and O'Keefe couldn't hold on. Just a little bit rushed by Mallory O'Keefe, the freshman. Really made a nice play to snag it, but I think got a little bit too fancy with the flip. She didn't have a lot of time, but it was just bobbled by Mandy O'Keefe and eventually fell to the ground. What could have been a spectacular double play ends up being no outs, and another misplay in this infield. Gives a chance for the Bulldogs as that's foul down the line. Lauren King, her second at bat of the game. Bulldogs put 13 runs on Montgomery in the NCS first round game, and we mentioned it earlier, they are hot coming in. They're confident, 7 wins in a row, including a victory recently over Benicia, who won their league. Off speed, nasty on the outside. King just couldn't bear to swing at it and watched it painfully. Impressive 2-1 victory, the final game of the regular season for Alhambra. King goes way low to get this awkward play. O'Keefe makes a spectacular catch. The throw down to third. Got her. What a play. Unbelievable stuff from the freshman. She makes the mistake and makes up for it the next at bat. A fantastic catch, nearly falling into India Smith, but on her back foot, she threw a laser to get the runner out. On we go to the top of the fourth, all knotted at 1. Emma Wyan will start things off for the Trojans. She had a base hit in the first. And swings at this first pitch, lines it into right to base hit. Emma Wyan a 2-hit day as the Trojan catcher continues her excellent work. Trojans with 2 leadoff hits in the last 2 innings. Gets the Alhambra team that has not lost all the way since April 18th, a 2-0 loss to Division I College Park. A lot of blowouts lately too. Smith, it's a blooper. Out of play, but the catch is made. Frustrated senior captain without a hit so far today. Shannon Kelly at third the catch. And from 122 to the Trojans 22, the ultra confident right now, Kylie Pate. Just looks like she's in a zone. A very hard foul ball. And her first at bat takes the first pitch high. Wyan stole a base in the first inning, threatening to do so again here in the top of the fourth. The 1-1 from King, it hit Pate. The inside of the calf for Kylie Pate. She's wincing, but she is country tough. A tomboy who's probably one of the most knowledgeable people I know about sports just in general. And that's some nice plays for the Petaluma Senior Powder Puff team in football. Last Friday, seniors lost to the juniors, but Pate had 2 interceptions. Probably could have played football if she wanted to. So the varsity point guard for Petaluma. As O'Keefe, this punt goes foul. 0-1, 1 out, and runners at first and second for Petaluma. O'Keefe, hitting 324 on the year, part of a Trojan attack, hitting 345. So that misses high. Kings started this game very well the first 2 innings. Since then, we've seen more balls over the plate, and the Trojans have made some adjustments. This ball hit into right, a tough play, and the catch is made and then dropped. The ball is dropped. They're going to get the out at third, and Pate goes to second. And in the end, the play doesn't make much of a difference whether the ball was caught or not. That's just a bizarre play. And it's been an uncomfortable inning for Alina Quintero in right field for the Bulldogs. Looked like she had the catch, ran into the second baseman, Ferrara, for the Bulldogs, but composed herself enough to throw to third for the out, where Wyan had to wait. This is an awkward ball. It's dropped and into fair territory. Here comes Pate around to score. The Trojans have taken the lead. O'Keefe to third as Ferrara couldn't make the catch, and the ball skidded all the way to the fence. An awkward base hit for the Trojans, but Petaluma has won ugly all year long. 2 runs scraped across for the Trojans, and here is Logan Pomey, who just had a double last inning. Just called a legal pitch, which is similar to a balk. You kind of go into your motion, stop and go again. But there's no penalty, it's just ruled a ball. That's the only penalty. It's done again, though. That would walk the batter. So King's got to be careful. She's a little agitated right now. Hasn't pitched badly, but Petaluma has put bat on ball and put it in really tricky places for Alhambra. 2-0 now to Pomey. That's in there for a strike. King trying to get in a rhythm right now. The senior pitcher has pitched plenty of times for the Bulldogs. Lots of experience. And this one is foul and out of play into the trees. You can see the beautiful scenes behind the Alhambra field here. The sun starting to get lower. The shadow's getting longer, arcing towards the pitcher. This ball up the middle. What a catch. That saves a run at short, and the inning is over. Justine De La Cruz Carrara saved at least 1 run and made that inning avoid being a disaster. She makes a spectacular play, but the Trojans squeak across a couple base hits, 3 in fact, and it's enough for Petaluma to take a 2-1 lead as we move to the bottom of the 4th. This Trojan team loose right now as we head to the top of the 4th. Warming up, laughing, throwing the ball around, just looking confident right now, and they have reason to. Petaluma has not lost a game by more than 1 run since April 18th, which is about the last time Alhambra lost. Just 3 one-run losses for Petaluma. And it's been a dominant run for the Trojans through tragedy. Last 12 games played, 3 losses, but really in the middle of that stretch, Petaluma didn't play for a week as tragedy struck Petaluma, and this team is a big swing and a miss. Sean O'Keefe, who, if you listen to the broadcast, I've brought this up every time, but just a major storyline on this team's season. Sean O'Keefe, the father of Mallory and Mandy O'Keefe, passing away much too young due to cancer. That misses outside, 2-2. The Trojans had a couple games moved back because of it. And not only was Sean O'Keefe the father of the two sisters, but also a coach for the Petaluma Steel Breeze travel softball team. And almost all the players on the team had been coached by him. Their lives had been touched. And it was just an emotional time. But after he passed away, a week later, Petaluma had to play 4 games in 4 days and won 3 of them before losing by 1 run. As this is going to be a strikeout, but a reach base for the Bulldogs. Frustration for Emma Wyan as Shara Shepard was way out in front of it, but the ball got away from Wyan, and by the time she picked it up, no chance to throw out Shepard. Only just an unlucky break, and Petaluma's got to watch out now for Breon Hutchins. She's going to steal almost certainly at some point. She has 19 steals on the season, pretty much exclusively used as a pinch runner. She could be on the track team if she wanted to, but she's chosen softball to be a speed demon on the bases. That misses outside. Surprised we haven't seen any stolen bases yet for the Bulldogs with 79 coming in. It's really their specialty, create chaos out there. Trying to lay down a bunt, but it goes foul. Alina Quintero couldn't lay it down. We've seen both teams try to lay down some bunts today, and neither have had great success. Bless has kept the Bulldogs off balance all afternoon so far as we near the latter stages of this one. Big swing and a miss at the heat, and Quintero strikes out. First strikeout of the day for Bless. What a performance so far. She's worked out of traffic too. There's been no easy inning for Petaluma in this ball game. Hard hit ball down the line, foul. It's a big ballpark. See the fence out in the outfield. Very tall, unusually tall for softball. It's 202 feet to deep center. I don't doubt anyone ever hits it out over there. You can hit balls to the outfield because of the size. You get a lot of extra base hits. That's off speed. There goes the runner, and she's easily safe. Ball into center. It's 0-2, but it's the 20th steal for Hutchins on the year. Emmerling, 471 batting average. She's been spectacular this year, but 0 for 2 today. Softball to Pomey, throw to first. They throw back to second. Hutchins stays, and there's 2 down. Trojans trying to get out of another inning clean again. The Bulldogs haven't played much from behind this season, especially with their success. They went on a 2-game losing streak, losing to Benicia in College Park. Besides that, they haven't lost since March. Check swing foul. By Rihanna Mechling, who has the RBI base hit for the Bulldogs. The 0-1, another check swing foul off the bat. Mechling's got to hold up her bat against her shoulder for a minute. Take a deep breath and calm down. Nerves and the mental game become so important in an elimination game. One team's headed home, where they'll be studying for finals after school. The other is going to be playing for a championship later this week. That misses outside. 1-2. Winner will face the winner of Benicia and Antioch in the semifinals, the 2-7 matchup. Soft ground ball, Pomey keeps it fair, and the side is retired. Trojans work around a base hit, and we move on to the 5th. It's Petaluma 2, Alhambra 1. Trojan team loose right now as we head to the top of the 4th. Warming up, laughing, throwing the ball around, just looking confident right now, and they have reason to. Petaluma has not lost a game by more than 1 run since April 18th, which is about the last time Alhambra lost. Just 3 one-run losses. for Petaluma. And it's been a dominant run for the Trojans through tragedy. Last 12 games played, it's 3 losses, but really in the middle of that stretch, Petaluma didn't play for a week as tragedy struck Petaluma, and this team is a big swing and a miss. Sean O'Keefe, who, if you listen to the broadcast, I've brought this up every time, but just a major storyline on this team's season. Sean O'Keefe, the father of Mallory and Mandy O'Keefe, passing away much too young due to cancer. That misses outside, 2-2. The Trojans had a couple games moved back because of it. And not only was Sean O'Keefe the father of the 2 sisters, but also a coach for the Petaluma Steel Breeze travel softball team. And almost all the players on the team had been coached by him. Their lives had been touched. And it was just an emotional time. But after he passed away, a week later, Petaluma had to play 4 games in 4 days and won 3 of them before losing by 1 run. As this is going to be a strikeout, but a reach base for the Bulldogs. Frustration for Emma Wyan as Shara Shepard was way out in front of it, but the ball got away from Wyan, and by the time she picked it up, no chance to throw out Shepard. Only just an unlucky break, and Petaluma's got to watch out now for Breon Hutchins. She's going to steal almost certainly at some point. She has 19 steals on the season, pretty much exclusively used as a pinch runner. She could be on the track team if she wanted to, but she's chosen softball to be a speed demon on the bases. That misses outside. Surprised we haven't seen any stolen bases yet for the Bulldogs with 79 coming in. It's really their specialty, create chaos out there. Trying to lay down a bunt, but it goes foul. Alina Quintero couldn't lay it down. We've seen both teams try to lay down some bunts today, and neither have had great success. Bless has kept the Bulldogs off balance all afternoon so far as we near the latter stages of this one. Big swing and a miss at the heat, and Quintero strikes out. First strikeout of the day for Bless. What a performance so far. She's worked out of traffic too. There's been no easy inning for Petaluma in this ball game. Hard hit ball down the line, foul. It's a big ballpark. See the fence out in the outfield. Very tall, unusually tall for softball. It's 202 feet to deep center. I don't doubt anyone ever hits it out over there. You can hit balls to the outfield because of the size. You get a lot of extra base hits. That's off speed. There goes the runner, and she's easily safe. Ball into center. It's 0-2, but it's the 20th steal for Hutchins on the year. Emmerling, 471 batting average. She's been spectacular this year, but 0 for 2 today. Softball to Pomey, throw to first. They throw back to second. Hutchins stays, and there's 2 down. Trojans trying to get out of another inning clean again. The Bulldogs haven't played much from behind this season, especially with their success. They went on a 2-game losing streak, losing to Benicia in College Park. Besides that, they haven't lost since March. Check swing foul. By Rihanna Mechling, who has the RBI base hit for the Bulldogs. The 0-1, another check swing foul off the bat. Metling's got to hold up her bat against her shoulder for a minute. Take a deep breath and calm down. Nerves in the mental game become so important in an elimination game. One team's headed home, where they'll be studying for finals after school. The other is going to be playing for a championship later this week. That misses outside. 1-2. Winner will face the winner of Benicia and Antioch in the semifinals, the 2-7 matchup. Soft ground ball, Pomey keeps it fair, and the side is retired. Trojans work around a base hit, and we move on to the 5th. It's Petaluma 2, Alhambra 1. Top of the 5th we go. All the Trojans need, not that they want to count outs, is 9 more to move on to the semifinals as O'Keefe tries to lay down a bunt. It goes foul. Two runs allowed in this ball game by King. Petaluma has been unrelentless at the bat, battling, fighting, and getting balls in play. After the first inning where King struck out 2, she hasn't struck out any. Came in striking out over 80. This Bulldog team, a history of success, especially recently. That one misses high. Back-to-back NCS pennants in 2014 through 2016 in Division II for Alhambra. They were so successful and dominating so much that NCS decided to move them up to Division I as this ball is grounded to third. 1 down. Top of the order and Bless with no one on. But after 2 years of Alhambra playing in Division I, they last year lost in the first round to James Logan 6-1. They were 14-11 last year, 5-5 with a pretty young team. Decided to move the Bulldogs back down to Division II. I don't think they were complaining. Division I is such a challenge with these big schools. This one is hit hard into left, but the catch is made in this big outfield, and there's quickly 2 down in this inning. Paul Bucatello, 10 years of coaching, won all 3 of those NCS pennants with Alhambra, but he just retired at the end of last year, so there's a new coach for the Bulldogs, Adam McLean. Mentioned him earlier. As Wyan lays down a bunt that just rolls foul, nearly perfect by the junior. McLean's done a great job with a good core returning. Improving on last season for the Bulldogs. Big swing and a miss by Wyan. She's beyond 0-2. Nasty pitch from King. Trojans have already improved on their NCS placement from the last couple years, making it to the quarterfinals. The record a little worse than last year, but playing in a much better league as Wyan fouls it off. And I think part of things for Petaluma, they're playing in the VBAL day in and day out against some exceptional opponents. This Division I vintage in Napa really was good for Petaluma coming into NCS, and now facing those same kind of opponents. The last couple years, Petaluma playing in SCL, they were just completely dominant, including 2013 through 15 when Petaluma didn't lose a game in SCL, so that's fouled off. And this year, losing 4 league games, facing so much adversity. We mentioned the death of Sean O'Keefe, some ups and downs, a couple 2-game losing streaks earlier in the season. It has really battle-tested them as this one is driven high into the air in center field, and the catch is made off the bat. That one looked good, but Wyan just got under it. Good inning for King as Petaluma goes 1-2-3, and we move on to the bottom of the 5th. 2-1, the Trojans lead. Updating you on the bracket here, I tried to give a visual image. As you can see the top and bottom half of the bracket. As Trojans get ready to start the top of the 5th. But to say it in words, it's a windy day, very hard to hold a paper in front of the camera. And we're still waiting for more money funding for our graphics. We'll get it someday. This is outside, want to know. Top half of the bracket, Newark Memorial already into the semifinals. They got their quarterfinal victory over San Marin on Friday. That's a strike. 19-8 Mercy Rule victory over San Marin. Impressive victory for Newark, who Petaluma lost to in the first round of the NCS playoffs last year. They are going to wait a while, the Cougars, to see who they play. This is a good bunt to third, and it gets by Ayers, who's protesting interference. Third out to second, and safely in there. A bunt. And an awkward play at first leads to an extra base. And Alhambra threatening now here in the bottom of the fifth to trying to tie this ball game. Kara Nelson, the sophomore, batting .390 with 32 hits and 17 batted in, trying to bring another home to tie this ball game up. This is outside. Rancho Cotati into the quarterfinals, but they are still waiting to see who they will play in the quarterfinals as Bishop O'Dowd and Windsor are finally playing their first round game today, about a week after it was supposed to be scheduled. That's fouled off. And then Rancho, if they win that, the number 1 seed Cougars, you'd expect to take care of business. Probably play Newark Memorial on Thursday. The 2 winners of today's games, Petaluma, Alhambra, and Benicia, Antioch, likely play Wednesday or Thursday. So this is another bunt. Bless throws to first to get the out. However, that's exactly the job that was expected of Kiara Nelson. Runner advances to third, and the Bulldogs in business here. A ball hit to deep in field should be enough to score the tying run as Rachel Bless, the pitcher, calling the meeting to the mound. Interesting choice here by the Trojan ace, or the Trojan pitcher, I should say. She's such a great leader. And without Janstow coming up to the mound for Petaluma, deciding why not have a meeting now and go over the strategies here for the Trojans. Bulldog dugout with their 5 seniors trying to keep their season alive, making noise. Bounces low, it gets away from wide. Here comes the run to the plate. High fives in the dugout for the Bulldogs as we have a tie game at 2. Even with the tie score, for some reason, complaints from Adam McLean, a young Bulldog manager. But either way, Alhambra has tied up this ball game at 2, got the run they needed. And you got to start all over. No one on, 1 out. And now the 1 up. In there for a strike. Mentioned that stretch where Petaluma played 4 games in 4 days after the death of Sean O'Keefe. The Trojans had Rachel Bless start those first 3 games, including those first 2. She pitched complete games, victories. Just such an impressive feat by Bless. She is not going to get tired easily. Very well conditioned. Here comes the 1-2. Over the head of Comey and into left. A base hit for the Bulldogs, and you can feel the momentum shifting. De La Cruz Carranza has had a nice game today. As that misses low. Shadows again becoming an issue here. There's sunlight coming through the trees. It's creating different shafts of light on the field. It's rather odd. Big swing and a miss by Emmerling. Top of the order here for the Bulldogs, but mentioned it last time Emmerling was up. Not had a big day, even as the best hitter on the Bulldogs. She's now 0 for 3. Misses low. It's 2-1. The later this game goes, the tension increases. Trojans have played some close games this year, but they've lost most of them. That misses. Less frustrated. It's a big deep breath. Now behind 3-1 and a runner at first. Bulldogs trying to take the lead here. Skips low. Said how well conditioned Blessed is, but is she getting tired here? Mandy O'Keefe obviously ready for the Trojans if needed. It's Petaluma's first game in 6 days. Bless hadn't pitched in nearly 2 weeks coming into this game. First pitch swung at to O'Keefe. They'll just take the out at first. Not enough time to get it at second, and there's 2 down. King advances the runners, and a base hit could potentially score 2 here. A huge at bat for Shara Shepard. The junior catcher batting .441. The second best batting average on the Bulldogs, and she reaches base 50% of the time, including 7 doubles on the year. Alhambra doesn't have a lot of extra base hits this year. We've seen a lot of singles, but Shepard can do that. That bounces away from Wyand. Here comes the runner. She will score. A pass ball, and the Bulldogs take the lead. A couple little plays can make all the difference, and a huge play there. Other runner advances to third. Pressure's still on Wyand. Stop it as the just throw back to Blast nearly got away from her. Trojans look like they're playing on hot coals right now, need to settle down. And just as I say that, the Trojan coaches agree. Here comes Trojan pitching coach. The meeting at the mound. Try to calm down Petaluma. The Bulldogs with 2 runs in this inning to take the lead. Bulldogs hoping to advance to the semifinals after 2 years of playing in Division I, but the last 3 years they played NCS Division II softball. Well, they haven't lost. Pretty impressive. Obviously, only the upperclassmen were on that NCS championship team, but means there's plenty of NCS experience on this Bulldog team, a team that has refused to lose since April. 2-0 to the count with the runner at third. That misses low. Blast's control has wavered in this inning. It's really cost Petaluma. Assume that meeting at the mound talked about how Bless was feeling, with Mandy O'Keefe certainly ready to pitch if needed. That misses outside, a 4-pitch walk. Shepard patient, let the pass ball go by. Runners at the corners. Bless looking into the dugout. 18 years of managing Kurt Janstrow, winning 4 NCS championships, but he is deciding to leave Bless out on the field. Last year, 6th seed was lucky. Bishop O'Dowd, the 6th seed, went all the way to the championship game before they lost to the 4 seed Cardinale. Title game. Trojans trying to continue luck of the 6. First pitch strike. Runners at second and third. As Gibson took the base freely, swing and a miss. 0-2. Blast badly needs to get out of this inning. Keep the Trojans hanging around. And Gibson gone. Nice at bat there on Gibson by Bless to get out of things, but the Bulldogs strike for 2 and take the lead, and we move on to the 6th. It's Alhambra 3, Petaluma 2. Top of the 6th, we go with King continuing her work for Alhambra. Petaluma took the lead in the 4th, tied at 1 before the Bulldogs answered in the last half inning. This has been a low-scoring, well-played game between 2 evenly matched teams. That misses high. Alhambra struck first with a run in the 2nd inning on an RBI base hit up the middle. Petaluma on a pass ball scored in the 3rd before taking the lead in the 4th, adding another as Wyand swings and misses. She's been a big part of Petaluma's success, though. 2 base hits today. Now we're 3rd at bat. Started the order dangerous, though. We haven't seen anything from India Smith yet, who's on deck. It's been on fire coming in. Wyand on the season, 29 hits, now 31 make it, which is second on the team, only behind the star senior Smith. This one is driven deep into left center, and the catch is made. Nice play by the Bulldogs center fielder, Kira Nielsen. And one down, that will bring up India Smith. All the Trojans need is one. They have 5 more outs to keep their season alive. Smith batting .438 coming in. Manager Kurt Jastrow calling her the best hitter in all of Sonoma County. She's hit like it much of the year, headed to St. Mary's of Moraga next year on a Division I college softball scholarship. That one nearly got her in the head. Look out. She gets out of the way. Senior captain, 28 hits, 17 runs, 21 RBIs. Reaching base 52% of the time. She also has 12 walks at Trojan best. This one is driven into left. Going back, it's over the head of the Bulldog left fielder. It's Smith. Comes through with the double. No way the senior captain was going to go quietly into the end of her career as a high school softball player. One out. Smith at scoring position, and Kylie Pate sub out 0 for 2 in this game, but she's also been itching for a hit. The 2 Trojan seniors on this young team with Boy Pate and Smith have both led this team to great success. First pitch in there for a strike from King. Petaluma has not won a one-run game this year as Pate swings and misses. I'm sorry, they have won one-run game. Very memorable one, too. In fact, the most memorable victory of the season for Petaluma so far. 8-7 victory against Napa, where Trojans won in the 9th on a walk-off pass ball. Petaluma came from behind 3 times, including down to their last strike against the league champion Grizzlies. Pate takes high, 2-2. Pate reaching base 32% of the time. Mentioned she's been on fire of late. This ball is swung on it deep, going back in center and making the catch. Excellent play as Smith will tag to third. Man, in a lot of ballparks, that ball might have left the yard. Hit a good 170 feet, but just short of the warning track, the catch is made. A tough play, too, looking up in the sun. Smith is at third. We've already seen 2 pass ball score runs, 1 on each side. You have to pay attention to that. The astute Smith at third as O'Keefe takes a first pitch strike. Trojans have batted 126 runners in this year. They badly need 127 right now. 221 hits coming into today. They need 222. O'Keefe pops this up. Catcher running over and not making the catch. Is that the play we remember? A horrible mistake by Shepard. Remember, had a big walk last inning. Shepard just looked like she never got good sight of that pop-up ball and spun away from her. Second chance for O'Keefe with Smith at third. This one hit up the middle, it's dropped! Smith will score and we are tied! Unbelievable! The twists and turns in this ball game are making Martinez a madhouse. 2 misplays by the Bulldogs have tied this game up. Cammie Ayers up with 2 out, and now O'Keefe at first. Was a tough play at short for the Bulldogs, especially looking into the sun as the ball popped out of the glove of De La Cruz Carranza, who's made a couple really nice plays there. Sometimes there's a hero, and sometimes there's a loser that costs a team a game in a playoff elimination game. Big swing and a miss by Air. She was trying to hit that one to Concord. 2-1. Trojans trying to advance to their first NCS semifinal since 2013. This ball is hit high into the air. The center fielder will make the catch for the Bulldogs, and the side is retired. Trojans have got under a couple ones today, but they have tied up this bowl game. A big RBI single by O'Keefe, and we move on to the bottom of the sixth. Oh, knotted at 3. Bottom of the sixth we go in this intensity-packed affair. Everything you expect in an NCS quarterfinal game. Both teams believe they can win an NCS title. The Trojans haven't won one since 2011. As this first pitch is swung into left at a base hit. Janstrow rolling right now with his sophomore pitcher, but man, she's looking tired. The RBI, or the base hit by Brianna Swihart, and now Abby Epps is going to come on to pinch hit for Alhambra. The Bulldogs a threat to steal. 80 steals on the season. Janstrow yelling at his team to play in and watch for the bunt, but that does make it very hard to handle on a hard hit ball. Every at-bat, so much pressure at this point. Brianna Waters, one of the co-captains on the Bulldogs. Pops this sky high into the air. Smith will make the catch. Senior captain right fielder gets the first out in the bottom of the sixth for Petaluma, and there's nowhere to go for Epps. Ten home runs on the season for the Bulldogs. They've hit 13 triples, a part of this big ballpark. As here is a bunt laid down. Bless has to work fast. The throw is made. Epps goes to second. She's spending too far up the bag. She's out. A base running mistake by one of the best base running teams in NCS, and the Trojans fielders come through again. Excellent play off the bunt, and Ayers fires down to second to throw out Epps. On we go to the top of the seventh. Oh, knotted at 3. Trojans average 6 runs a game. They've been held to just 3 today by Alhambra. Trojans allow 3.5 runs per game. Petaluma cannot afford in this inning to allow any more. The big advantage of playing at home when the game is tied and you're essentially into extra inning baseball at this, or softball at this point, you get to bat second and you know what you need to get. Alhambra, all they need is 1 to win on a walk-off and win this ball game. The Trojans have lost 3 times in the past month by 1 run. 1 of those off walk-off. 3 of those games were, 4 times in the last month, I should say. 3 of those games against Rancho Cotati, all 1-run losses, and a 1-0 loss to American Canyon that took Petaluma out of VVAL title contention. The Trojans would finish second. It would be the first time in 10 years Petaluma didn't win a league pennant, yet this year has really been a success for the Trojans. They've battled in the exceptional VVAL, which has to be one of the best leagues in the NCS. First pitch is hit to third. Bomi makes the throw, 1 down. Trojans dealing with their biggest pressure of the season, but they've played in a lot of close games, and the other teams have won it. So Nelson grounds out. Here's Justine De La Cruz Carranza, the 9th hitter for the Bulldogs. 27 hits on the season, 1 home run as well, but it is a tall fence to hit it over. Carranza takes a first pitch strike. Plus, and a smooth 6th inning. Highlighted by the double play by Ayers at first. That just misses outside, I don't know where. A pretty consistently umpired game, though. Alhambra trying to win its 4th NCS title this decade. Petaluma at second. This ball is popped up right in front of me. Ayers just can't make the catch. Just out of the outstretched reach of the junior, who was sprinting after it and ran into the fence right in front of me. 1-2, though. Blooper, base hit. De La Cruz de la Carranza reaches as it falls in no man's land, perfectly placed. Wyan couldn't run it down and didn't want to risk diving to have the ball get by her. 1 out and a runner at first. Isabella Emmerling, the top of the order for the Bulldogs. Bless takes a big deep breath and strides to the center circle. Fans on their feet here. Big swing and a miss by Emmerling, trying to finish it on 1 swing. Ball bounces, there goes the runner. She's out of there. Excellent throw behind the plate from Emma Wyatt. She's had some struggles stopping some balls behind the plate, but she makes a laser of a throw down to second. O'Keefe applies the tag, and there's 2 outs. A risky play by the Bulldogs as they try to steal a base, something that done so well all season. Not there, though. Emmerling takes strike 2. It's 1-2. Bless slaps her mitt in satisfaction. 1 strike away from sending this to extra innings. Just misses outside. Lows, it skips in front of Emmerling. She's worked it to 3-2. They check the swing. Emmerling did not go. Sophomore trying to come through. A young core for the Bulldogs. Can they lead them to semifinals? Emmerling stays alive as she fouls it off. What an at-bat this is turning into. Split in between. The Hawaiian throwing out the runner. Winner on to the NCS semifinals. The losers' season comes to an end. This one is driven deep. Smith going back, making the catch a few steps from the wall. Eberle gave that one quite a ride and put these fans on a ride for a couple seconds, but Smith says let this ride continue. The car drives on to the 8th inning, all knotted at 3. Wyatt drives the first pitch to second, and the catch is made. I was expecting that ball to go through, and there was a stopgap that didn't let it. Hope Ferreira makes a spectacular catch. I don't think you saw, and I never really saw either. The ball just stopped. Ferreira stepped right in front of a laser from Wyatt, who's feeling good after she just threw out a runner. And now Smith takes a first pitch strike. King has had her ups and downs, but she really looks like she's in a rhythm right now. The senior does not want her career to end. Smith doesn't either as she takes high. 2 senior captains going at it. These are 2 of the best softball players in the area. 1-1, 1 out, nobody on, top of the 8th. Smith drives this one into center. Diving catch, unable to be made. Smith with a big fist bump. She has reached the first Trojan runner in these elimination innings. Here's Pate now with 1 out and 1 on. A spectacular attempt for a catch by Nielsen in center, but it popped out of her gloves. We've seen that a couple times. Pate lines this one over the head of the second baseman. Smith into second safely. A bloop single by Kylie Pate. We knew she would get a hit today. She has just been on fire coming in, and her 18th hit is a huge one. Back-to-back singles for the Trojans with 1 out. They are in business. Trying to advance the NCS semifinals. They would be only the 2nd Petaluma team this year to do so as Mandy O'Keefe takes a first pitch strike. In fact, in the last 4 years, there's only been 1 team to move on to the NCS semifinals in any sport. As O'Keefe takes high. That was the girls soccer team this season who lost in the semifinals after an undefeated regular season. Softball team trying to match one of their accomplishments. That's low, 2-1. Pate at first, Smith at second. Both with good speed, especially Pate. As that misses outside, they fake the throw back to second. And Smith is fine. O'Keefe with 23 hits on the season. Quick meeting at the mound with King. Trojans have scraped across 3 runs in this game. 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and 1 in the 6th. They have been feisty and pesky as O'Keefe lines this up the middle. Ball into the gap. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Here comes Smith to the plate. Pate to the plate, and the Trojans have taken the lead. A double by Mandy O'Keefe has given Petaluma the lead in the 8th inning. What a hit by O'Keefe. Still 1 out. Here's Ayers, check swing. She did not go. O'Keefe got a ball low in the zone, and she swung hard right at the sweet spot, and that one was blasted to the wall. This one is hit hard, right to short. O'Keefe's in the pickle now. She drives to third, she's safe! Now Pate back to second. Pate has been thrown out, or Ayers, excuse me. O'Keefe stays at third, and there's 2 outs. What a bizarre play. It was a beautiful play at short, diving to prevent the ball from getting into the outfield. O'Keefe thought it was going through, tried to scramble back, not in time, and then really just a poor decision by Ayers to try to go to second during the pickle. If she wanted to, she should have gone earlier. And they threw her out after O'Keefe somehow, I didn't even see it, went through the tag. This one is hit foul, and the catcher unable to run it down. Clouds covering up the sun. It is supposed to rain tomorrow, so any NCS games scheduled for tomorrow likely will not be gotten in. Quarterfinal game would be at least, or semifinal game, excuse me, would be at least Wednesday or Thursday. Swing and a miss by Polmy, 1-2. Trying to add to the lead for the Trojans. That misses high. The ball bounces right off the backstop and right back to the Bulldog catcher. What a lucky break. And O'Keefe had to scramble back. 2-2. Dribbler. Oh, it hit. I was wondering why no one was moving. It hit off Polmy. Hit off her foot. Still 2-2 to the sophomore. Scored the first run today for Petaluma. Off speed, misses high. Full count. Payoff pitch oncoming from the senior ace for Alhambra. It's over 100 innings. She gets the strikeout. But Petaluma gets 2 runs on the Mandy O'Keefe double. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Trojans need 3 more outs to move on to the NCS semifinals for the first time in 6 years. 1 more inning for Rachel Bless to get through. She's been brilliant today, scattered 3 runs over 7 innings on just a few hits. And after the 2 RBI double by Mandy O'Keefe, the sophomore can send Petaluma to the NCS semifinals for the first time since 2013. And after the tragic death of Shawn O'Keefe, keep the fairy tale going of a Petaluma NCS championship pennant where Petaluma did not even win league. First pitch misses outside to the Alhambra batter. Lauren King. So the pitcher gives up the runs. Can she make up for it with the bat? Swings at this one, foul, and out of play just next to me. And King might not be happy with the screaming and shouting she's heard from behind the camera today. From yours truly. Stay tuned after the game. There will be interviews whenever the game ends. As King fouls it back. This is only the 2nd extra inning game Petaluma has played all season, and they won the first time around. We mentioned it earlier. A 9-inning thriller, 8-7 victory over Napa. A 1-2 from Bless. Bounces in front of one. Bless has tried that pitch all day, and it has not fooled the disciplined Bulldog batters that have hit 390 on the year. 2-2. Bounces again in front of Wyand. King, 27 hits on the year, and there's going to be a pinch runner. I think that the scoreboard was wrong. That was ball 4. So a leadoff walk to King. Hannah Platt is going to pinch run. And the tying run comes to the plate for the Bulldogs with nobody out. Excellent at bat by King. Dangerous runners will be interesting to see, though. First-year coach Adam McLean decides to send her, and this is where lack of coaching experience comes in. First pitch is low. Mentioned Bucarello earlier, and 3 NCS pennants. He was actually named the NCS Softball legacy coaching award after retiring. But McLean doesn't have that same experience to make these tough decisions now.
Wow.
The 0-1. Misses low. Sarah Shepard, batting .441 on the year, one of their best hitters. She had a big walk in the 2-run 4th inning for Alhambra. That misses low again. 3-0. It's been an interesting last couple innings for Blesh. She's at points looked completely in rhythm, at other points looked completely tired and nervous. It was a pretty clean 7th inning for her. So far not here. That's in there for a strike, 3-1, as Shepard was taking all the way. Misses low. First 2 batters have walked here. Mandy O'Keefe says something to Bless, but she's staying out there. Kurt Janstrow is riding her right now. We'll see more pinch running for Alhambra. They frequent it as Brianna Hutchins, for the 2nd time, will pinch hit. She already stole a base, however, she's got a runner in front of her, but she is the tying run right now, so she's gonna have to make some big decisions potentially when the ball comes in play. Nobody out for Bailey Gibson, the senior. Petaluma leads 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Bless pacing back and forth right now. She's really been taking her time, a lot of deep breaths. Biggest moment of her career. That miss is high. She's got to find the strike zone and get ahead on these counts with the patient Bulldogs. Swing and a miss. Off speed, fooled the sophomore. It's 10 underclassmen, 9 sophomores on the Bulldogs, thrust into this big moment. They only played one NCS game last year, which they lost. Sophomores don't have a lot of experience. A bunt laid down, it will be fair. They tag out the runner, but that's the good job done by Hutchins. Runners advance to 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Nice job by Ayers to pick it up and tag the runner. But there was no time at 2nd or 3rd to get the out. Trojans, though, will take the out. Remember, that run at 3rd only cuts the lead in half. Petaluma should not care about that run. Here comes a meeting at the mound. There's a lot of situations to work out, and you want everyone to be clear. They're meeting in the infield, and behind the pole, they're meeting in the outfield. Where do you throw the ball where? If you're Petaluma, and there's a sac fly opportunity here, you just throw it into the infield. You do not want to throw it to the catcher and risk a pass ball, because again, that run does not matter essentially at 3rd at this point. Outs matter. You're watching the very speedy Brianna Hutchins at 2nd base right now, with 20 stolen bases on the season. She is a bullet on the diamond. 1 out, runners at 2nd and 3rd. First pitch low, or Blessed time and time again today is missed. Swihart, the freshman, the massive spot. She had one of the best at-bats of the afternoon. A 9-pitch walk. And this one is ripped deep into right. It's gone.
Our final score, the Alhambra Bulldogs 6, Petaluma Trojans 5. Alhambra High School would like to thank our umpires for their effort. Congratulations to Petaluma for a terrific season.
The freshman, Brianna, Brianna Swihart lines a ball 200 feet over the fence and wins the game for Alhambra and ends a wild season for Petaluma. But man, that final inning reflected all the emotions this season for Petaluma softball. So close to moving on to the semifinals, but the home run ends the dreams, and for Alhambra, a miraculous comeback as they move on to the NCS semifinals. They will face Benicia or Antioch. You can see the Bulldogs, they're going mad. They go to 19-7 on the year and move on to the semifinals. Petaluma stunned as their season comes to an end. They finish 17-8. Interviews are next. India Smith, after just a wild, heartbreaking, well-played game, how do you put this one into words?
If we're gonna lose, I'd rather that be that than to just get killed. But still doesn't make it any easier. Our team played really well. That's a really good team, and we never gave up, and we came back from behind twice, and so we played well. So.
You mentioned the comebacks. You guys just had a never say die attitude all season long. That comeback against Napa, you'll probably never forget. Obviously going through the death of a beloved coach and father. How have you guys thought through adversity all season?
This is honestly one of the closest teams I've ever been on. We had each other's back the whole time. Whatever's going on, like, we know we're doing it for each other. Everything we do is for each other, and didn't end out the way we wanted, but we fought hard, and it's okay.
India, you've had an incredible year, 4 years on varsity, one of the best players in VVAL this year, going to St. Mary's next year for softball, and obviously playing at that higher level. What have you learned from your time here, and when you look back in the years to come, what are you going to remember about this team?
To just have fun with it. No matter, we always had fun the whole season. That was like one of the things we did, and that honestly helped us win. But we were so close. We always just had fun with each other, and I'll carry that with me. When I was playing my best was when I was having fun with it, and so I think I'll carry that with me.
Thank you so much, India. It's really been a pleasure to cover you over the last couple years.
Thank you, Griff.
Here with the Rachel Bless after Petaluma's season comes to an end in the NCS quarterfinals. You got the ball to start your first NCS start. What were your thoughts going through this game? It was so tight and so much tension throughout.
Yeah, a little nerves going into the game, but I just knew that I needed to be there for my team and give it everything I got for this potentially being our last game. So I just gave it everything I had.
You guys have played so many close games this year, and you've just always battled. Why is this team just competitive every time they come out? And what is the feeling around this team?
Just the heart and the drive that everyone has makes us compete so much harder, and the want to win the game. Like, I told the girls before we went on the field, we didn't come here to play, we came here to win. So just the drive that everyone has makes us a team and makes us compete.
You guys have talked a lot about how tight your chemistry is. Why was this team so tight throughout the season?
Definitely, things that happened have made us definitely so much closer to all of us. Yes, there was okay, hold on. I don't know. Just things that have happened throughout the season have made us so much more closer to each other than we were before, and that really helped us and brought us together, because after everything that happened, we knew we had to be there for each other and for the girls, and it just played out how it should have.
Lastly, you're only a sophomore somehow. You got 2 more years. What are you going to learn from a game like this in this whole season to take next year when you guys are going to be extremely experienced?
Definitely, with NCS and VVAL, we just have to compete, and we have to work hard every day, on and off the field, at practice. It starts on the warm-ups. It starts at practice, not even at the game. It doesn't start at the game. It starts at practice and in warm-ups, and we just need to do that thoroughly so we can be the best we can be.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It's really been fantastic watching you the last 2 years. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you. Here with manager Kurt Janstrow after Petaluma's season comes to an end in heartbreaking fashion. How do you reflect on this excellently played game?
I'm really proud of these girls, especially our girls, the Petaluma team. They played hard. We had them on the ropes, and that's just softball or baseball or a sport. Sometimes you lose on the last pitch, and today it was our turn.
This team had a wild season. First year in VVAL, battled through tragedy, through a couple losing streaks to make it here. How proud are you of everything they went through to get here?
This team is amazing. We play great defense. These girls never give up. We were ahead. We battled back after being down 3-2 in the fifth. Scored 3 runs. Was it 3 runs? Yeah, to make it 5-3. And then we just couldn't hold on at the end. Just so proud of them. Proud the way Rachel threw. She threw a great game. The girls hit well. We played defense. We made a lot of great plays in the field. It's just one of those things that you got to live with.
19th right team that you've coached now here as a head coach at Petaluma High.
Yeah.
What are you specifically going to remember about this team that makes them special?
Just how the girls got along. They had great chemistry. They pulled for each other. That's one of the reasons why I think we could battle back in a lot of games and prevail, because the girls never give up and they played for each other. And, you know, I'm as proud of this team as I've been proud of any team I've ever coached. This one was a special team for me because we had great captains in Indy Smith and Kylie Pate, and they were just great seniors, and kids were great. We'll just come back next year and give it another try.
Thank you so much, Kurt. It's really been a pleasure the last 3 years covering the team, especially this year was so exciting, and you've always given so much access to the players and yourself, and helping with the live streams and coming out on the road here. It's really been a pleasure covering the biggest powerhouse here at Petaluma High. So I want to thank you and all the players for everything you've done for Trojan Live.
And I want to thank you for being here for the girls. You've done everything you could to make their season as enjoyable as it is. You live stream games, you've announced games, and they appreciate you and they like it when you're here doing your job.
I really appreciate that, Kurt.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That does it here from Alhambra High School in Martinez. What a excellent game here today, and for me personally to go out on and Trojan Live to go out on this season. You couldn't have asked for a better game, just not the result Petaluma fans were looking for, with the shocking three-run home run in the bottom of the 8th after Mandy O'Keefe's double gave Petaluma the lead, and they were oh so close to moving on to the NCS semifinals for the first time since 2013, but a back-and-forth game between two even teams, it just was not meant to be today. And after this incredible season for Petaluma, they've fought through tragedy, a new league, they fought through so much adversity, but this team was close, and as India, Rachel, and Coach Kurt Gentes said, this team had something special and truly special to cover. This is my final sports broadcast ever. It's really been, at Petaluma High at least, it's really been a pleasure covering all the athletes from every moment I've covered. These NCS playoff games are always near the top of memories, but even a normal soccer game can bring brilliance. Something I'm never going to forget, and really the inherent part of my high school career. I've really had everyone in the high school community at Petaluma High support me, road teams support me, and all the viewers like you tuning in. I don't do it just because for my own personal pleasure, but I really do it for all of you at home and all of you that support me. I couldn't make the drive, make the trips, and all the cold nights without everyone's support. And then all the athletes and coaches' support along the way, always being open for interviews. The whole school has always wanted to help and support myself and Trojan Live out and get these sports teams covered. And it's truly been exciting to see the spirit around teams when their coverage increases. So many more thanks, so many individuals I can go in. I'm not going to bore you with that, but a couple few. Jonathan Knotts, the teacher advisor for Trojan Lives, done an exceptional job. Matthew Kalemba really taught me everything I know. Michael Barabald and Peter Canali have been a big part of the Trojan Lives sports department in my time here. They've done an excellent job, and everyone else that's helped out with live streams, with broadcasts, taken photos, produced short segments on the show. So many people have gone into this, and I'm going to miss them and treasure them so much. Won't ever cover another Petaluma High sporting event, but they're all up on our YouTube channel for prosperity, and I will always treasure the moments that I had calling Petaluma High sports. Truly a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning into this one. Once again, the final score: in wild, heartbreaking fashion, the Alhambra Bulldogs eliminate the Petaluma Trojans in the NCS quarterfinals on a walk-off home run in the 8th inning. Final score: Alhambra 6, Petaluma 5. One final time for everyone here at Trojan Live. I'm Griffin Epstein. Good night.